Hello, dear friends. Leo Tolstoy once wrote, "Only one clear quality marks an action as either good or evil. If it increases the amount of love in the world, it is good. If it separates people and creates animosity among them, it is bad." Contemplating on this brilliant insight, let us get into the specifics of the approaches to motivate student learning. Demonstrating care. Students crave attention and they appreciate it when we give them our full attention. We can demonstrate care and build trust by showing our students that we want them to succeed for the same reasons they want to succeed. Some of these reasons may be extrinsic motivations, better grades, higher marks, skill enhancement, that would help the students to improve their chance of career success. These are reasonable and realistic motivations. Definitely help the students to exert extra effort in their studies. But we want our students take their learning beyond successful completion of a course, beyond passing of exams. We want their learning to last, to have a profound impact on their self-development, their understanding about the world, and shape the sense of who they are. Sometimes, such a support requires nudging and encouragement on our part. At times, we be cheerleaders rather than critic of their work, and at other times, we must offer constructive criticisms that would help the students to improve a lot. We have to demonstrate that we care about their deeper learning, we care about their self-development beyond their grades and beyond our courses. Providing feedback. Students want to know how they are doing. They want to know where they stand. They want to know what is working and what is not working in terms of their learning. They want to know how they are performing with respect to their classmates and with respect to a standard against which they are being measured. Timely and specific feedback, both positive and critical, would motivate students. While positive feedback encourages them, critical feedback, when precise, specific, and constructive, help the students to understand where they are falling short and what they can do to improve and how they will be able to improve. Identifying purpose. We need to clarify the purpose of the work we ask our students to do. Keep before your students your larger scale goals for them and your more immediate learning objectives. One way to establish such connections is to give your students authentic assignments that have real world applications or that serve a public purpose. You can have them write a letter to a local newspaper or present a proposal for improving a job or design a strategy for cleaning a nearby lake. Whatever is relevant to your learning goals, whatever is relevant to your course. Even if the impact of such projects may be hypothetical, it will help the students to understand the relevance of what they are learning for themselves and for the community at large. We should be clear about priorities. What is more important and what is less important and why. We should also reveal our own passion and enthusiasm for our subject, discipline, and profession. Why did we decide to pursue this field in the first place? What compelled us? What sparked our imagination? Teaching gives us an opportunity to become reacquainted with our own sources of inspiration, and we should find ways to share this inspiration with our students, both in the class and in our individual encounters with them. Emphasizing possibilities and progress. A sense of possibility and progress is essential for student motivation, especially for the more vulnerable, less confident, and the less academically prepared students. Students are to be challenged but not overwhelmed. They should be able to succeed but not without some struggle. Students who struggle appropriately with comprehending and applying newly learned concepts will remember them much longer and understand them more deeply than the students who are not so challenged. If the challenge level is too high, however, students give up. We need also to offer support and encouragement as students struggle with academic and intellectual challenges. Evaluating students' performance is critical for keeping them motivated, helping students to set realistic targets and benchmarks to measure their progress, reinforces other forms of motivation. Using emotion. Emotion can be a powerful force for learning. Engaging students on an emotional level reminds them that education need not merely be an academic experience. Our students' learning involves them as complete human beings who have feelings as well as thoughts, emotions as well as ideas. Tapping into emotion sends a message that in our teaching we intend to reach our students as full human beings and not just as machines for absorbing information. It also shows that we are interested in their learning more than facts and figures, concepts and connections. Bringing emotion into the learning process makes learning a more complete human experience. Our students will value their learning not only as an academic, intellectual accomplishment, but also as an emotional experience. Employing active learning. Active learning strategies motivate students by engaging them in doing rather than simply listening and absorbing information. They require students to engage, to respond and think. One way you can implement active learning is to provide your students with opportunities to make connections and predictions based on discussions, lectures, readings and problems. You can require them describe these connections and express their predictions both orally and in writing, however briefly. This will give them a chance to check their own understanding, and it will give you a chance to see what they understand and what they don't. Equally important is to give your students time to practice the skills you are teaching them. Take time for in-class practice. You can identify the strengths and weaknesses of their developing analytical skills, regardless of what they are analyzing. Your classroom should be a place for them to make mistakes and stretch themselves analytically, and not to remain safe in the confines of their comfort zones, doing only what they already know how to do. Self-explaining is an active learning strategy that requires students explaining not only what they are doing, but also how they are doing it and why they are doing it. Self-explaining reinforces their understanding of the processes, connections, and frameworks. The famous English writer Aldous Huxley, on his deathbed, reflected on his entire life's learning and summed it up in 7 simple words. Let us be kinder to one another. Let us be kinder to one another. Thank you. Goodbye.